All right. All right.
We're getting pumped.
Okay. Nobody's watching. One person's watching. Okay.
We're getting pumped about Bitcoin Alpha.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got a very preliminary schedule.
And we got a screening. So
Yeah.
Schedule. We got a screening.
And we set the money in. So thanks. We
paid the deposit on the hotel, so that's good.
It's done.
Next up, we need people to just chime in on the session topics.
And we have a few people we're trying to coerce to get to the event. Remember, this is not a for-profit event.
We have room to comp 5 tickets.
Yeah.
For people who we think would bring.
Hunter Beast was saying, "Hey guys, can you send me a private jet?" And I'm like, "No."
Did he really?
He did. He literally did. He's like, "Hey, can we send me we're going to a quantum event. Can we send a private jet?" I'm like, "No."
Oh shit, Fred. You know what? I think these streams keep saying October 7th.
Oh yeah, we'll change it. We can change it. That's good.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, good.
Hopefully that updates correctly.
It's October 17th. I'm sorry. That was a typo in my thing.
You guys, we're just moving at a really fast pace. So
all right, so let's take a look at the.
Let's look at the schedule. Yeah.
Let's look at the schedule. So, okay, let's see. Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, this is it. This is good.
You're not sharing though.
I know, but I'm going to share right now. 1 second. Okay, good. So this is it. Let's make sure it's good.
That's good.
Okay, so let's go over this.
So first, I think we decided to keep the same 4 tracks as last year because that really helps us organize everything into these 4 main ideas: macro, investment, innovation, and culture.
Right. All right. So macro is basically anything.
Macro, starts out.
Yeah. We want to talk about the debt problem, right? So in the macro track, and I can't think of a better person to bring it up, but he doesn't want to come yet. He's like, I'm done with events. Is Larry Lepard. So I'm gonna twist Larry's leg and try to get him to come to this event.
How can you be done with events? I mean, maybe other types of events.
Conference
people who do not like conferences.
It is true. He doesn't. I think he's sort of thinking this is going to be a repeat of Bitcoin Vegas, which it's not. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we have the debt problem. That's one. We definitely have to have that. If he doesn't do it, I mean, James Lavish would be equally good. He's just an expert on the subject. Then we sort of talk about how does this debt thing unfold? Is it the Joe Carlosali way, which is there is no unfolding, there is no collapse.
It's like a slow erosion that's manageable.
Yeah.
In Joe's mind.
Or do we go into the Weimar Republic where we have wheelbarrows full of dollars to buy loaves of bread? Both are possible.
More of that one. I kind of see more of that one, but yeah.
Now we have. Potentially a special guest who, we're trying to coerce to come for the next session, Soft War.
Who has a new baby.
Who has a new baby, right.
Newborn.
Then, Ben, you put this tether issuance relationship. What do you mean by that?
Well, the way I look at it is kind of like, for years there's been all these charts about tether issues, a bunch of tether, and then that affects the market.
Okay.
And there's all these sort of people on X that have done really deep analysis of this. I haven't really looked at that much, but it's something I am curious about. Is there a historical relationship to tether issuance with the bull markets?
Right.
Because at some level, the obviously the highest value trading pair in crypto and Bitcoin is tethered to Bitcoin. So there's something there.
Then we have
these are all tentative topics too.
Right, tentative. We just wanted to fill out with something to get people thinking. The strategic reserve. So it was the subject a year ago, and now we're like nobody's talking about it anymore. Okay. The next is AI and Bitcoin. AI is growing faster than anybody expected. How does it interact with Bitcoin?
Yeah, obviously we're heading towards a world where a lot of jobs are going to be taken by AI, whether people want them to be or not. And so, some form of UBI is likely coming. What is the impact of that on Bitcoin? How does Bitcoin play a role?
Right.
Geopolitical impacts of Bitcoin, next one. So really looking at sort of what's happening in the world. Is it good or bad for Bitcoin? I think, we do have a chapter in the book that says just a little bit of our page of the book about how chaos is good for Bitcoin.
Which is kind of a Sailorism.
Yeah.
And now we have Bitcoin as a global reserve currency.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously some of us,
yeah.
Our thesis is that eventually we go to hyper Bitcoinization. So that's sort of an open-ended discussion on that. Then let's talk about the investment track. So this was, I would say the macro was bigger than the investment
last year. Last year, yeah.
Yeah, but the investment side's obviously, we're all in it for the Benjamins. The first thing I would say is, the rise of Bitcoin treasury corporations. We didn't talk about them really that much at all last time. We had talked about MSTR, but there wasn't really much else.
There wasn't much else. I mean, there was a couple, maybe those, I don't even know if
Metaplanet,
Microsoft was going to be voting at that time.
Yeah.
Even. So a lot's happened. And, now we've got David Bailey springing up these things like all over the world. And
right. Then we have Bitbonds.
Great topic.
Really good topic. And Darkside and Marilyn Hoddle can dive into that one.
Basically, it's another wall of money coming into Bitcoin.
New structure, really interesting. Then there's a sort of like, where do we time the top, and then or can we?
Yeah.
And I'd love to get Sina,
Plan
Giovanni, Plan
C.
Yeah. Talk about power law and what Giovanni calls the bubble. So,
I think this is what people are really interested in the most with power law, is sort of how do you time the market?
Yeah.
Can you?
Okay. Then we have a whole topic on the MSTR ecosystem family. Strike, Strife, Stride. We'll probably have 3 more by the time this conference has, all starting with the letter S. I want to lead a session on Kelly criterion and rebalancing your portfolio. Unless we can get, or I'll participate if we can get Stephen Perrinode.
Oh yeah.
From Thailand to fly out. It's a long way to fly out, but it'd be great. We'd love to have Stephen to come in. Money or Debt, great account you must follow. Then we have long-term Bitcoin treasury strategies. What do you mean by that, Ben? Long-term Bitcoin treasury.
Just managing your Bitcoin, long-term strategies for managing your Bitcoin, kind of retirement planning.
Okay.
We did a little retirement planning last year, but
that was really a great
really
session.
Good session.
People loved it.
Tom Young and Amanda were both pretty active in that. And I think basically it's like financial planning for Bitcoiners.
Right.
So how do you manage your Bitcoin long-term?
Right. And then options trading. I mean, obviously I'd love to get Josh Mandel.
How did Josh do it?
How did he do it?
We should just call that one, how did he do it?
Yeah, exactly. Then we have sort of, in general, this whole topic of quantile models. Again, I'd love to get Plan C on there.
And I just want to mention that there's no recording.
Yeah,
so there is. You will not find any information about these sessions except from the attendees if they decide to share things unattributed to the person who shared it.
That's it. So there's no recording. There's no slides or anything. I mean, people can if they want.
Virtual,
but yeah.
Can attend virtually.
Culture. Okay. Justin Belcher's favorite debate. Why core sucks and you should go to NOS. The no debate. Okay. Why spam is polluting Bitcoin. Okay.
We must save Bitcoin from
We must save Bitcoin.
But it's really, the no debate touches on, I think, something really core to Bitcoin, which is who rules, who makes the decisions about Bitcoin. It's really ultimately the most important topic when it comes to Bitcoin culture.
Right.
So
then we have sort of stable coins and Bitcoin. Now, I think one of the things that's today actually is a vote in the Senate on the Genius bill.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the final thing that we have, but it's getting closer and closer to passing every day. So stable coins
are a hot topic again, and my dad even wrote me like last week and was like, how high is this Circle company going to go? They have
Yeah.
their stable coin. Like everyone's thinking about stable coins and Bitcoin's role.
Right. And then we have Bitcoin is role in financial inclusion.
Right.
So
Bitcoin, obviously provides a way for anyone to save money without putting cash under their mattress or whatever. And so there's an aspect of society that is underserved by banks or can't be served by banks. And so that's.
Yep. And we've got a bunch of people who talked about that last time.
They do.
That I think we could bring in for speakers for that.
Another great session from last time that's not on here now, but that we could bring back is the BRICS topic.
Oh yeah.
Alternate money systems outside of Bitcoin.
Yep.
And Bitcoin and gold is another, like, there's so many things we could
Bitcoin versus gold.
Bitcoin versus gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both kind of hot.
It's it's still such an important topic because people like at that party, that one guy who was like he was.
Well, gold's finite, but not Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's not finite.
Or whatever. Running your own node.
Decentralized social media.
Oh, decentralized social media, Nostr in particular. Less of a topic, but I think it was still worthwhile bringing up.
I think it's still a topic. Blue Sky, Truth Social, all the different networks. It feels like everyone's kind of come back to X to me.
Yeah.
But
okay, running your own node.
Running your own node, great one. Great.
People are still interested in that.
I mean, everyone should just learn how to do it and try it out.
Yeah.
And I think I have a new and improved decision tree for everyone. So
great.
And we'll have some nodes. The other thing is we're gonna have some nodes you can buy.
Yeah.
So we'll have a little shop set up where you can.
I like that idea, like a Bitcoin machine and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can buy a little miner. You can buy a little node. You can.
Yeah, we want to add
hardware wallets. And,
we'll just go out and buy some hardware wallets and just sell them at cost.
But but it's hard. The thing is, it's hard to know. We'll go through. Maybe we'll even ask Ledger to send us some ledgers.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
a good.
Give out.
Like Ledger Flexes.
We'll get some flexes from what's his name, Pascal, and we'll also be giving. We'll be selling things like these keystone plates where you can back up your seed phrase and fireproof steel.
Yeah.
So we can even do a session just on this later on.
Okay, human rights and surveillance. Palantir is getting big. Everything. One of the drawbacks of AI is that it's getting better at surveillance. So
it's definitely making surveillance and centralized authority more,
Plus, efficient. I think we might have a digital euro by the time this thing rolls out. That's a possibility.
We might, honestly, yeah.
So, we have some Europeans who are flying in that could talk about that.
Mining at cost.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of these running in our office, these little bit axes.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about just self-mining, all this kind of stuff. And then Bitcoin security and OPSEC. That's a pretty big topic.
Honestly, that was one of the best ones because it's something that just you can never stop learning about.
And we're going to have security at this event, but it'd be great to get somebody from CASA to come and
talk. It would be awesome to get someone from
I think we will get somebody from CASA to come at the event.
Yeah. This is one of the things that I think, there was one Bitcoin OG who was there that added a lot to this session.
Yeah.
And he was very knowledgeable about security and he used that monkey analogy. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You kind of don't want to be the lowest monkey in the tree. So you have to think of security as being there's a bunch of monkeys in the tree, and underneath the tree, there's a lion trying to get the monkeys. So
let the lion eat a different monkey.
You don't want to be hanging too low off that tree. So.
Okay, innovation. It's a sort of general catch-all, but it's sort of everything that doesn't fit into the first three goes into innovation.
Much, yeah.
Quantum is huge, I think, and we're going to try to get a really good quantum session. I'm going to attend. I'm not going to moderate, even though somebody made a video of me calling me Quantum Freddy.
It's not a FUD session. It's just exploring
the
options for Bitcoin to become quantum resistant and ways to use your Bitcoin now, of course, ways to use your addresses that is quantum resistant already to a degree. So there's a built-in quantum resistance already. Using your SegWit addresses one time. But just really explaining this, understanding it, talking to some experts about it. We're hoping to get some good quantum people to come and
Then we have sort of green mining and sort of Bitcoin and energy.
Right, like innovations in mining, sort of what's, every few years it comes back again. People think Bitcoin's a big waste of energy and it's not worth it. And we should come up with something new. And so,
Bob Burnett last time was really great. He led a great session. I'd love to have him come back again.
Yeah.
We want to do a little kind of innovation, and we just want to show a little bit of some of our local AI with this box here that we have, and some of the local AI stuff. I don't know if you can see it, but anyways, just sort of talking about what it means, how AI potentially can change the game here, and
we'll talk about some of the things we're using it for.
Yeah.
And do a little demo.
Yep. Okay, then
there's another session someone wants to do.
We're open. Optional. Yeah, all these things are kind of just, we want to put a framework together,
we're just seeding the ideas of what we think would be cool, so we can get people, basically we're getting pumped about it. We want to get everyone pumped about these topics, and then come up with their own topics. It's up to all the attendees to come up with topics. We cannot lead all these sessions.
We're not.
In fact, want to be leading as few of them as possible.
We just want to participate.
Participating in them.
So Wrap Bitcoin Solutions. I've invited Justin from Zeus Network to come. I think he'll come. So he's got this Wrap Bitcoin on Solana.
One thing that we could have put on here, I just thought of, is the Bitcoin yield.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of these Bitcoin wrapped things have some aspect of fees taken in Bitcoin to use these faster chains, which can pay yield.
They can.
So
I think Will from Babylon was.
That's another one.
Yeah, he came to the last one, and he could come, but he's English.
Bitcoin yield is another topic we could potentially throw on here, but that's kind of related to this wrapped Bitcoin solutions thing.
Yep.
And exploring these wrapped Bitcoins.
Stable coins on Lightning. Tether is doing that. I think it's even though it's not pure Bitcoin, it's running on Lightning. So using Bitcoin to run stable coins, I think that's an interesting topic. Generally, the layer 2 tech, I think Bob talked about it last time, Bob Bodley.
We could also do loans there. We didn't do lending this one, but we have to do a lending thing.
Yeah.
Kind of visit where lending's at. So
Bitcoin and art in sort of the innovation. Danny, Emily, Tad.
Bitcoin art, is it overhyped? What's happening? Is it dead?
Is it completely dead, or are we just in a sleep period?
Yeah.
And then maybe BitTensor Tau. We're
proof
kind of
work and AI. Where do they cross over?
Yeah. And so that's it. And then basically this session thing is sort of boxed between breakfast and icebreaker. So 2 hours of just coming in, getting to know each other, a little bit of like, who am I, who are you, etc.
We might start a little bit earlier if we can. If we finish icebreakers early, we'll start at 9:30 or something. So this is not completely in stone at all. Our goal is just to lay a structure so we can have some expectation of what's going to happen.
Then we had the cocktail hour, which was very good.
Oh, what about the screening?
Oh, yeah. Before this all starts, we are thinking of renting out the Lemley.
I put a request in to rent it. So I just put in a request.
So we'll put
let's show the trailer.
Oh yeah, let's
you guys are gonna love this. This movie is by Lauren Seekman.
How do I find it?
I don't know, just search Unbanked movie on Twitter.
Okay.
On X. So Lauren Seekman, who's actually Udi's wife, made this documentary that cost her a boatload. We're going to do the LA premiere. Share this tab instead.
Yep, here we go.
Okay, boom.
Let's play it.
We have these dollar bills in our pocket backed by the government, and that's what money is. The purchasing power of the dollar never goes up. The dollar only goes down.
It's just a question of when will it utterly fail?
We can't be trapped in our bubble of the United States, so like it'll never happen here. It could certainly happen here.
No, I'm not Satoshi.
The monies that people are familiar with are regulated and controlled. Bitcoin is freedom money.
Bitcoin's coming in! It's a new technology where the power is in the hands of the people.
If you want to send money and receive money, it's outside the bank, bro. And it's much better.
Bitcoin's a hyped up fraud. The asset itself is creating nothing.
I would short it if there was an easy way to do it.
I think it's a scumball activity.
There's not that many people who want to buy pet rocks right now. The pet rock probably has more value because at least it's a rock.
Crypto is financing terrorism and human trafficking and drug dealing.
Do criminals use Bitcoin? Of course. Criminals use all useful tools, cars, cell phones, food and water. Governments do not like Bitcoin. They cannot control it.
We want the Bitcoin. We're going to seize your money.
That freedom is power. Governments would be removed from their ability to manipulate currency.
Bitcoin works because the software works, and the software works because there are people maintaining it.
In tomorrow's world, we will tell our children, instead of buy real estate, we'll tell them buy Bitcoin.
Some girls nowadays, them ask for some cryptocurrency.
You go to Central America, South America, Africa. These are markets that see Bitcoin.
Okay, yeah.
So the trailer looks amazing, and we're going to do the LA premiere. So it's going to be the first time anyone sees the movie.
Yep.
We put in a request through the movie website to do the LA premiere in a theater here in Santa Monica. And so
it can fit
it'll be
100
free tickets to everyone who comes.
Yeah. And maybe if we get too many people,
maybe
we'll get
two.
We'll do two series, two screenings.
We could potentially get another second theater. So we're
we
very
don't have to do
excited
them simultaneously either.
Yeah.
We could do one and then
we could do one another night or
Yeah.
something.
So that's sort of the
pending approval, of course. So the distributor of the movie has to approve us to do this screening, but it would be an unticketed event. We're just gonna rent it out. And yeah, we're good. We're super excited about it though.
Yep. So there is just to let you know. Okay, what's our
let's see what we got left now. We had 25 tickets left. The early bird tickets, we have 25 left.
We have 24 left.
Okay, yeah. So
right now we have 24 tickets left.
Go to bitcoinalpha.org. You can check it out.
Yep, and we sent out a few more how do you call it, approvals. So
check your email if you
check your email.
If you applied, if we accepted you and decided to invite you, it's in your email now. So search Bitcoin Alpha in your email.
No, Nick, we're going to do the premiere the night
prior.
Premiere
will be Thursday night. So if you have access to the attendee site that has the attendee resources, if you're already going to the event, check the attendee site and you'll be able to see this new schedule is on there.
Yeah, Richard, the energy transition impact of
look,
I think
another
that's
good topic.
Very good topic.
Come and do it. Come do that topic.
Yeah.
And also if you paid for tickets, if you reserved a ticket to the event but didn't pay with your Bitcoin yet, then you can do that now. The node's working, everything's good there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're very excited about the event. We're very excited about the screening. You can't come to the screening unless you have an event ticket.
Right.
So it's all included together.
And we're not making any money off this, just to be clear. And we're kind of the bigger faces of it, but Puncher's involved, Tom Young's involved, Lauren's involved, and Darkside are involved, and we'll be more involved as we get closer to the final thing. We're trying to get a few, VIP kind of speakers like Jason Lowry,
not speakers, but attendees,
Not speakers. There are no speakers.
There's no speakers. There's no stage. There's no separation. It's the kind of conference that for people that don't like conferences, and also it's the kind of conference that people who don't go to conferences come to some of our people who come completely anonymously, by the way. You can come and register under a alias. You can pay with Bitcoin and come completely anonymously. And we actually did have a few people last year who came completely anonymously. One of them, I don't even know their real name. They came and just introduced themselves and said they've never been able to come. They've never felt comfortable coming to a Bitcoin event ever since they've been in Bitcoin since 2012. And this is the only event they've ever felt comfortable coming to because they were able to travel locally, register anonymously, pay with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And they came and just had a great day, just sitting there listening to conversations.
And just ping us if there's somebody you think we should try to work on to convince coming, or that you can help bring.
Yeah, if you're an attendee, look at the list of topics, figure out what topics you want to engage in, what topics you want to lead and be a part of, and think about who else you want to invite, who you want to see there.
I mean, we're probably going to have 200 people at this event, which is about the maximum this room
Probably
can
the
handle.
max. Yeah, we really can't.
We can't get much more than that, but and we're going to have a bunch of volunteers because to put this thing on, it just doesn't happen by itself. We've got to get people to man the T-shirts and everything. You know, it's
just check in and
yeah.
help people with little problems and help with sound and
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, if you want to come a little earlier, if you're a broke student and you want to volunteer your time and do it, and be one of those volunteers, we accept broke students too. we're okay with that. We had 10 UCLA students, and they were great.
My old CTO I wrote him and I was like, why don't you come to this event? It'd be really good for you to come. And he's like, can I get a free ticket? Ha! And I was like, do you want to volunteer for days? Well, work is really busy, actually. I don't know if I could volunteer for a full day.
Yeah. But having said that, look,
he's not a broke college student either. So
yeah, I mean, look, part of the thing is some people have said Fred, I don't pay to go to an event. I'm a speaker at these. I get paid, and I'm like, well, this is probably not your right speaker thing because we're not trying to make this a profit event, and therefore we have limited ability in this budget to kind of pay people.
We could get a sponsor, we could get a sponsor. We're kind of at the break-even cost now. That includes 5 comps tickets.
So if Marathon, if you're listening, if Strategy, if you're listening, feel free to sponsor the dinner or do whatever. We're okay.
Yeah.
Look, the other thing we can do is we could potentially have a few little demo stations or something, like if you want to demo your custody thing or whatever.
We could, yeah.
We could. We have room. It's not like we don't have room. We have room. And again, we can also people want to spend money on things like T-shirts and things like that. So we could potentially, if you're in the merch business or something, you could potentially do that.
Yeah.
Don't see the attendee. Do we have an attendees page?
We do have an attendees page. So
where is it?
It's at 2025.bitcoinalpha.org.
Oh, you can see that? So let me just see.
Let's go look at it.
Okay, where is that? 2025?
2025.bitcoinalpha.org. I just put it up yesterday.
.Bitcoin Alpha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's updated with the schedule.
Where is this?
There.
Oh no, this is resources.
Yeah, there's no list of attendees.
No, we don't have a list of attendees.
Yeah.
Okay, so good. We don't have a list.
We don't have a list of attendees, but there's an attendee resources page.
Playful saying don't get a sponsor. Look, I don't think we need a sponsor.
We don't need it, honestly. We do not need it.
We don't need it.
Special thanks to our sponsor.
Yeah.
It's a costly thank
the bacon wrapped scallops is courtesy of Asteroid Mining and Asteroid.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we
it's funny, we do still have this gong. So,
oh yeah. Oh, that's
the way you know a session is ending is that we have someone ringing the gong every hour.
Yeah.
So it's time to move on.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna go get.
We'll see you guys in October.